Hello, my name is Crafted, and you saw the title and you wondered to yourself, what is Elementia? Elementia is what I am planning for a future Minecraft SMP that I plan to run sometime. Of course, it'll be when I have a larger following and it'll get actually noticed. But for now, it's just an idea I've had for the past few years and trying to develop the story and the lore of this world. The basic lore of Elementia is that there are 5 gods. 4 of them are known, the last one not known for a while. But the 4 that are known, the gods of air, water, fire, and earth. Each of them with their own names, lore, and special abilities, which we'll get into later into the video. But for this first section, I'd like to explain the basic lore. 4 gods, 4 elements, plus a 5th one being the father of them all. So we got fire, water, earth, and air. You might be thinking to yourself, why is that familiar? And part of that reason is because I'm basing it off of the TV show of Avatar: The Last Airbender, a popular Nickelodeon children's show about these 4 elements, as well as Asian philosophies, with interesting abilities based on those elements of fire, water, earth, and air. And in this, I plan on having lots of people be able to play on this, mostly content creators, but maybe a few friends if they're willing to do some streams or videos on it. But this will be further down the road when I get a larger following, as well as the others who would wish to join. Part 1. Introductions. In this part, I will explain the introductions of each of the gods, their names, and just their basic lore. First, we'll start off with Void, or the Void Father, being the creation of all, seen as in every dimension there is the void. More specifically in the end, but still, every dimension has the void. He is the one in between, he's the one who sees all, but is trapped in the end by the Ender Dragon, which originally the 4 gods made to conceal him, for he was corrupt and wanting more power. Arion was the first god born, as well as the god of air. He would build a massive sky fortress, as well as basically what you could imagine as Skylanders. Basically, with all those islands in the air, he would rule over them until they fell upon themselves in their own greed and pride. The next god, or should I say goddess, would be Terria or Terrien, also known as the Earth Goddess. Her basic lore, honestly, that's still what I'm trying to figure out. And that's why I'm hoping people in my Discord join today would be able to help me with to find out what's her basic lore, what's her stuff. But the basic thing I've come up with so far is that I want each god, as well as being associated with the elements, to be associated with one of the seven deadly sins. For air, it's pride, but for earth, I was thinking greed. Because when you think of Earth, you think of the humans who are just greedy and they mine up the resources. And what is Minecraft all about? Mining and building. So, greed. But other than that, her story is not very developed. But her story with my character in this would be a lot more developed. Next, we got the twin siblings of fire and water. First off with fire, we got Pyrion, god of fire, who, from my basic lore and understanding, is just the one who builds the nether. He's the sun, he's the heat, he's everything that contributes to fire. And that's honestly really it for him until we develop more lore for him in the Discord. Again, join down below. But now, the final one being water, or Aquilian. She is just a basic water god. Honestly, we don't have too much lore for anything other than Arion, because somebody already wrote some stuff up for him, which was really good. Again, link in the description, go to the Discord and look at the current lore. But the main lore for the fire and water duo is that they hate each other. Of course, being fire and water, they naturally would be hateful towards each other, with a long-standing rivalry, as well as both being the only gods to experience reincarnation. Being some of the more, not necessarily powerful, but some of the lesser, but also greater, they can live forever through incarnation through different hosts when they are born. Kind of like what the Avatar would do, but only for a specific element. While air and earth, they are just single gods who live for a really long time. And other than that, that's just the basic lore for the gods. And for fire and water, their deadly sin, as would be wrath and lust for fire and water. Fire being like fighting and that sort of stuff, and water, the person who's planning on playing that part in my server is, let's just say, trans, and we made this whole joke, me and my friend House, in the Discord, by the way, about the gender fluid god, especially when it's the water god. Part 2, characters. In this series, of course, everybody will be playing a character. Not necessarily everyone has to go full-on lore, roleplay heavy. Some could just play the game and be like, hey, this is happening. I'll participate, but I'm not going to be the center stage, the main character, as you would say. But there would be some. I'm not sure if I'd be including that. I'll have a minor story, but it won't be the biggest story or most elaborate thing. But there may be some people, they don't have to though, to go full-on roleplay with this server. But as for my character, I am the son of the Earth Goddess, which will develop her story, and a villager priest from just a random village. Don't really need a name for it. But what happens is that when my character is a child, there's a raid on the village, and I see the pillager captain, or so say, kill the villager priest, who is my father, trying to defend me. Then I black out Moon Knight style. 2 of the other illagers are killed, and the captain runs away. Then throughout the series, it is my objective with my story to hunt down this pillager captain and kill him in the art of revenge. But then so on and so forth, eventually find him, kill him, and that's the story for that point. Then everything else will develop in future seasons, chapters, or whatever arcs we plan on doing. Part 3, Externalities. For this section, I'm just going to go over some other basic lore, some other basic things that's going to happen with this server. So, the plan is to have a build and a mod team that'll help develop the story through the chats and other NPC characters that would log on to help develop the story, such as the gods and possibly other characters from other places far away that we'd eventually be able to visit. As well as the build team, who would build up these temples for the gods, other mini structures, or even an eventual team of wizards who we could pay in diamonds or other resources to help build our projects. Especially since I'm not necessarily one of the better builders in Minecraft. You can see my build battle, I didn't do that good. It was just super basic. But that is what is planned. We also plan, as a cool concept, having only one large nether portal. That it will be the goal of the fire people to watch over and defend with their lives. And from a lot of the people in my Discord currently who chose fire as their element, they seem to be basing their thing off of an ancient Japanese civilization where if you defeat the ruler, you become the ruler. And there can only be a new ruler after he is defeated. As for air, there's very few of those, and their lore is just that they try and rebuild the Skylands to its former glory back when it was a warring party. We also plan on possibly having the end portal there, though none of us would know it. We would eventually be given Eyes of Ender by the gods, as well as finding secret lore books and libraries and other temples to eventually be able to find this sanctuary, where we would eventually fight the dragon and release corruption to the world. As for Earth, we'll have a giant empire, though everybody will be spread out, building their own little kingdoms. While the water people are more secluded, they are known for piracy, gambling, and other stuff related like that. But that's just what the current cast of people who are working on the story and lore are coming up with. Now again, I am basing this, especially the main elements, you could say, off of the elements of Avatar: The Last Airbender, being fire, water, earth, and air. But also having gods for each element. Taking that sort of story and having storylines from a more popular Dream SMP, back when they had lore and story. But also, I'm basing this off of a popular Minecraft series that no longer is happening, well, as of the end of COVID at least, called Mayanite, which was played by the Syndicate Project, Captain Sparkles, Jericho, and OMG It's Firefox. These four would play on this server with lore and story about three gods and their quarrels. It's an interesting series. I'll leave a playlist of it in the description, as well as in my Discord if you'd hope to join and help with this lore and story. And don't forget, if you have any questions, suggestions, or any ideas at all, feel free to join the Discord and subscribe to this channel and help me figure out how to do this story. That'll be it for now. Thanks for everything, thanks for the views, and goodbye.